the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity and excellency of power. A father is talking to a son. That's why he said, God, that I may tell you. So he's predicting. You must look at a man with a man. You see, you must look at a man and must be able to recommend him for excellence or not. He said, Reuben, thou art my firstborn. But in verse number 4, he said, unstable as water, thou shalt not excel. Unstable as water, thou will not excel. So, the father looked at Reuben. He looked at the traces and the happenings that was in the life of Reuben. And he said, with these traces, you will not excel. In other words, the word excel come out of the word excellence. You will not step into excellence because you are unstable as water. So he saw his recommendation. But this was a bad one. He said, you were unstable. Reuben, you will not excel. He wasn't cursing him. He was saying in view of attitude and character. And that's the things that I'm going to show on attitude and character. It wasn't a curse. You look at it and said, my son, you can't excel because you are unstable. Now, why could Jacob talk like this? Remember, he said, gather, sons of Jacob, hearken to the words of your father, because I'm going to tell you what shall befall you in the last days. So, you must be able to hear from your father. So much so that in predicting the future of his sons, the first and foremost call of glory for his sons was a call unto excellence. So, but you will not excel. Reuben, you will not excel because you are unstable. Why could a father talk like this? You must understand who a father is to sons. That's what's very much important. If any man would want to tap into excellence, you cannot do without a father. I wonder how people think they can step into excellence. You see, excellence had its measurement. In its measurements is the recommendation from fathers. There are no better recommendations than those that come from fathers in the area of excellence. So in pursuit of excellence, you must strive to hear the words of your father. In pursuit of excellence, you must strive to hear the words and the recommendation of your father. The words and the recommendation of your father with respect to excellence. So I want to share something that I've over the years shared with you. Who is a father? Number one, a father determines an origin. Number one, a father reveals an origin. Number two, a father is the revelation of your source, your origin, where you come from. Because every man proceeded from somewhere. You came from another man. Number two, a father reveals source. There is nothing you possess now, even in your physical look, where it's not traceable to your father. So much so that your DNA could determine who your father is. Number three, your father reveals, or he is a reflection of a firstborn. You are born because your father is born. And number four, a reflection of first fruit. A reflection of what? First fruit. So, these are some of the things that I've given to you, which is a great blessing. If you understand it, you go with joy. This is the thing. So, your father is a revelation of what? Number one, what? Origin. Number two, source. Number three, firstborn. And number four, what? First fruit. Thank you. It is on this premise that he can function in those 3 points I gave to you, that excellence is traceable, excellence is determinable, and excellence is predictable. That is the reason why excellence thrives on recommendation. So excellence is a product of growth. We grow into it. So there are measures of it. And in the measuring of faith is the importance or the essentials of the recommendation of a father with respect to excellence. So he said, Reuben, you will not excel. The father determined. He looked at him, and by virtue of character and attitude, I said, character and attitude at the doorway into excellence. He looked at him and said, by this, Reuben, it was not a curse. He said, by this, Reuben, you will not excel. Remember, he has said a whole lot of things which I'm going to speak about in the second service. He looked at these things and said, you had all these things, but you will not excel because of this character. So, I gave you 4. Maybe in the second service I'll add more. It can be a blessing to you. So on this, a father is able to recommend and determine, predict, and trace the system of excellence at work in you. So, there is this I want to add, which is going to be a blessing to you. There are 4 outlined responsibilities of a father. Or there are 4 outlined things that that a father is responsible, forms a responsibility of a father. It is in these things he can be able to trace, determine, and predict that. So these are the responses. So there are things that the father stands for, and there are things the father is responsible for. Number 1, inherent. When I talk about inherent, I'm dealing with the things that you were naturally born with. Inherent is defined as existing as an essential constituent or characteristics. It means built in. There are certain things that you were born with. It was built within your system. It forms you or frames you. It was built on the inside. Inherent. Now, there are certain things which come as a result of inherent. Naturally, you were born with a DNA that is traceable to your father. That is the reason why they can test your DNA and determine who your father is. And DNA forms the characteristics. So, this is the reason why there are some attitude or behavior, your looks, everything about you, they can look at you and say, you look like your father. It is inherent. Your father is responsible for that. You didn't say, I wanted to look like my father. Your father said, you will look like me. It is inherent. Sometimes it goes beyond that. It can come with some special abilities. This is the reason why God approves. Please listen to me. God approves that kingship will be by the revelation of sonship. Not only that, even priesthood is by revelation of sonship. Now, it's not just that one must be born, but God believes that if you are a son of a man, he must be able to raise you up to look like him, to look like yourself, or raise that person to take after you, which I'll come there. So, naturally, there are certain things which are by inherent. Where is he born the king of the Jews? He was born as a king. So he had the characteristics and the nature of a king built on the inside. Jeremiah was born as a prophet. He had the system built on the inside. Remember when I was preaching on Radio Premier, I spoke about this. About your manufacturer. What he had manufactured you. So, you are inbuilt with the capacity to perform to suit your assignment. Inherent. There are things that you were naturally born with because of your assignment. God formed you to show that. Inherent. Born like that. That's why I say, except a man be born again, he cannot see. The things that you were born with, you couldn't do anything. You were born with it. That system is already on the inside. So, everything with its purpose had been manufactured, had been designed, and it came out like that. Inherent. Now, that inherent is traceable to your manufacturer. It's traceable to the one you came out of, or the one who gave birth to you. Because he is king, he gives birth to kings.